Well, hello. It has been quite a while since I have, made a video and uploaded it to the channel. And it is 2026. And in fact, I think it's more than a year since I've uploaded. But anyway, it is around winter vacation here in Taiwan. This is normally the time when things where I start having a bit more free time to make videos. And it's not like I haven't been hobbying in this past year or so. Actually, I've done quite a lot. But that's not what the video is about. The video is about this right here. Gaslands Refuelled, post-apocalyptic vehicular mayhem by Mike Hutchinson and published by Osprey Games. Now, I have had this book, I'm not lying, for probably, I want to say a year and a half, but maybe 2 years. And I decided this year, 2026, is the year that I get into this wonderful and chaotic game. I have, since I got this book, actually become quite a fan of Mike. I've listened to his podcast and watched some of his videos on YouTube, and followed some of the other games he has designed, including Space Gits, which was a recent one that got delivered from Kickstarter, and he also has Hobgoblin, which sounds like a fantastic rank and flank game of fantasy mayhem, which is something I want to get into. But I got to start with this one. I actually see my book has some damage here, which is quite sad. Otherwise, I like these Osprey hardback books. They are very nice. And yeah, so to start off with that, this is a game where you play with cars, and these are the sort of Matchbox or Hot Wheels sized cars. And I don't think you probably want to use Hot Wheels because they're quite expensive. The best thing about this game, or one of the best things about this game, is it's quite cheap to get into. You need some cheap cars. They can be plastic even, and if you got die-cast cars, they're probably a little bit easier to work with if they're die-cast. But literally anything of that sort of size. And that is what I actually picked up today. So let me go and grab that. I grabbed this box over here, and this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But 2 of these are these comically large ATVs, these quad bikes, which I obviously can't use. This is kind of a shame. I might still put that in there for whatever reason, but 8-piece model cars, new, with plastic parts, with moving parts, authentic detail, 1/55 scale. I believe that's if this is 1/55, then what's this? Or if this is 1/55, then what is this? That doesn't sound right. In any case, these are sort of Matchbox and Hot Wheels size cars. And the idea for the video is I'm planning on making a few videos, and it's to take us from having the book, buying a box of cars, mashing them up, kit bashing them, detailing them and getting them ready for a game, and then actually also maybe have a short video of us playing, or maybe a little battle report of the game afterwards. And that's sort of a project that I want to do, and I feel like this kind of video, making the video series, is sort of keeps me honest, keeps me on the hobby, keeps me motivated. And I have some friends who actually are interested in playing as well. Now, I looked at how many cars you actually need to play Gaslands, and you can play with as few as 1, but it seems like 2 to 3, maybe even 4 cars are recommended. So I plan on starting with 3 cars, but today I'm gonna pick 1, and I think I'm just gonna start with the easy one, which is this police car, SWAT Justice Force. Because it's kind of a very sort of normal looking sedan kind of car. I've got this really cool looking Jeep. Well, Well, let's crack this open and see what these look like. Of course, very cheap packaging. This is probably made in China. Let's just grab these out. See what we're working with. A nice little construction site leaflet, providing some background. Let's put this book off to the side so you can have a better look at what we're working with. And yeah, these are pretty decent. These are pretty decent. Okay, I really like this Jeep. I wonder if I could 3D print some dudes on here. The wheels are kind of not great, but it doesn't really matter because in this game they actually recommend putting these on bases. What I like, one of the reasons I got this one is because I like this this Jeep has these, this camping equipment or whatever on the top, which I think would fit in well, This one would require very little kit bash. You can probably put on a little a gun on here. But with this stuff, it'll paint up nicely. It'll look very interesting. These quad bikes, these are pretty cool. Oh, he's actually one of those pullback little cars. Well, I'll keep this. These ones will go into our toy box with the other cars. My son can play with them. Put them up to the side. We're not going to work with them. Yeah, so the reason I bought this box was the variety of cars is quite nice. As you can see, we got several different kinds. We got what looks like a fire truck with this nice blue with a ladder on it. That might be interesting. There's another fire truck sort of thing. Kind of interesting details on here. Yeah, and I guess another fire truck with a hose. And naturally, this is gonna get repurposed as a sort of a gun. I'm not gonna use it as a hose. This is gonna cause destruction. And these two Jeeps are pretty cool. And then you got this typical SWAT car. And so I think I'm gonna start with this. Now to help me, I got some tools. I got some sandpaper, different grit sandpaper, these little sanding pads. I got this little file over here. That's, man, I use this a lot. I sometimes even mix paint and whatever with this, and a little bit hot. What is this? 120 grit sandpaper, and I just printed out a couple of bits over here. This was found, I believe, on Maker World and printed on my FDM printer, my Bamboo Lab A1 Mini. And so it helps if you have a friend with a 3D printer, or if you have one yourself. I highly recommend these Bamboo Lab printers if you are sort of a hobbyist and you're not printing out massive things. Although I have printed out fairly large pieces of terrain. I guess we can bring this in here. This is one I just printed out, and this was printed in parts, which is a nice piece of elf terrain for my elf army. So barely fits in this camera, but it can do that. But it can also do smaller, finer things. I've even printed out miniatures on it. So, and it doesn't really matter if the quality isn't great. You can see this is printed in two colors. That was not intentional. I just accidentally ran out of gray filament while I was printing this, and oh, that broke off. Okay, anyway, forget you saw that. Anyway, yeah, and so I had to pop in whatever leftover filament I had, and so it just happened to be brown. But anyway, it does not matter. Now let's put these other cars to the side, and start with, let me see. Let's start with this guy over here. Let's have a nice look at what we're working with. Okay, now I'm gonna try and just use these bits. I thought I had two of these. Oh, I do have two of these flat ones. So we have those, which are interesting. I guess these go over some windows. Seems like it. Then we got This we should probably cover a bumper or something. Might have to file off what's here. There's another one, so you could probably even do this left and right. That's probably something I could do. Although this does look like it's sort of front and rear bumpers. That's what it looks like. Okay. Then we got these guns, which look pretty cool. Now I don't have any points or any particular build in mind. So I'm just going to work with what I have. I don't know what this is, but it is rather interesting. So I'll have a look at that. Yeah, lots of guns, which is cool. We've got guns and bits, and I'm going to be working just with this. So let's get into it. Okay, I'm going to... I kind of feel bad for mashing these up, but that's just why I got them. So let's just go ahead and see what happens. Okay, I'm just gonna... I think I might keep the windows. I am gonna rough them up a little bit. I know oftentimes I've seen people take out the windows. I mean, people go bonkers with these. They disassemble the entire thing, which might not be a bad idea since this does have a screw. Let me quickly grab a screwdriver and see if I can actually disassemble that. Let me have a look. I'm not going to do this unless I have something nearby, and I do have something nearby. How easy it is to disassemble this, and will it actually make a difference? Okay, it screws off. Oh, okay. Well, screwed off really easily, which is cool. And I can probably work with the chassis, with this, the outside a little bit easier. It is a little bit easier doing that. We'll rough it up a little bit. I'll probably have a peek in here and look sort of what the point cost is for different weapons and whatever. I might do that just before I decide to go and stick on some guns or whatever. I'm sort of, my idea is just this to be a fairly standard basic introduction car for the game. I'm not going to build anything crazy. Okay, so okay. Now the question is, what should I do with this? I can assemble it like this without the windows. That is an option. That is definitely an option. And then I don't even have to do anything with this. Okay, so let's have a look. My goodness, my hands are filthy, but let's have a quick look over here. If I can scoot over and just have a quick look at weapons, shooting templates, range, basic rules. Let's have a look at... I don't need everything dirty here. My hands are disgusting. Setting up a game, building a team. That's page 61. Let's have a look if I can sort of see. Okay, setting up a game. Set us up the bomb. Okay. Building a team. Gaslands is a simple and flexible system of creating, customizing teams. For your first couple of games, we recommend you give each player a single car and a single buggy, both armed with a single front-facing machine gun. That'll get you up and running as you learn the basic mechanics of the game. A single car and a single buggy by itself. Okay, let's reassemble that, and this is what we got. Okay, all right, looking a little bit more post-apocalyptic, which is good. Single front-facing gun. So pop it on the hood. Is that it? Is that what we should do? Or the top? Hood-mounted gun, like that. Okay, what do you guys think about that? Okay, well, let us see. Let's do the gun. I prefer this no-run gel super glue. This is Scotch. Just because the liquid just always gets on my fingers. I always get it on my fingers. Okay. Try and position that in the middle. Heck yeah, that's looking good. And now that we got a gun, I think the next step should be adding a bit more detail here. Yeah, there goes. I think that would be it. I'm gonna quickly give this a spray with the silver primer, and then let's see where we are. We might do a gray primer, yeah. All right, so after I gave this a nice prime with Rust-Oleum gray acrylic primer, this is what it looks like, and I'm yeah, very happy with how this came out. It looks decidedly post-apocalyptic. I think this, whatever this, I think this is you know, sort of a thing you put on a surface, to make it more grippy. If you, like on a kitchen surface or even on the dashboard of a car, if you want to put some stuff there and you don't want it to slip around, that's sort of a grippy, sort of a mat that you put on. So this actually worked out well. It's still a little sticky there, but it's been a few hours since I have primed this, so the rest is fairly dry. It's just this material here that's still quite a little sticky. So now comes the fun part, and that is adding some color to this. Now I'm mostly going to be using Vallejo, and starting with this orange fire, I'm going to give this a nice bright orange, because after I do that, I'm going to be giving it a thorough wash to darken it all down. Alright, so it's been a while since I've had this painted and dried, and this is the current status of this car at the moment. Getting there. I do like this hot orange, or what is it called? Orange fire from the... I didn't give it a perfect coverage. You see it's still splotchy and so on here. I kind of like that, because I think these cars have probably been painted up with some whatever leftover paint these post-apocalyptic scavengers have had lying around. They won't have professional car detailing equipment to make these cars the color they want to. So what's next is going to be sort of dirtying this up a little bit. And I just need to find a cup where I can look at it. This will do. And I was first going to just mix some of the black Vallejo paint and medium thinner. I was going to do that to make sort of a wash, but I did discover, I totally forgot I had this one, and you'll see I have a lot of Vallejo stuff, and it's just because it's it's reasonably priced where I am, and they have a lot of stuff here. They have this diorama effects for the bases and whatever. That's really cool. I ended up not. I ended up printing out these. What are these? 2 inch by 1 inch, so about 60 centimeters by 30. 60 millimeters by 30 millimeters rectangle bases. I believe that's the correct size. I mean, this does say Gasland vehicles, and I just got this off Thingiverse. And then this one I covered with this sort of with this texture paint, sort of wind erosion red. This is a little bit pinker than I thought, but I do kind of like it. This is just a piece of a sprue that I clipped off. So I think after this is sort of painted, I'm gonna whack it on there. So this would just give me because with the wheels, it won't stick there. So I had to put something in the middle there. You can sort of see it will just make enough contact there so I can glue it. And then that's what it will look like when it's sort of done. See, it's a little bit larger than the base, but that's all right. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna just give this a decent slathering. Just put it back onto this handle, painting handle. Let's see how this works. I have not used it before. You can see it is quite a green. Now this is for khaki and green vehicles. This is not khaki or green, but it's sort of in the ballpark, color. It's sort of a warm orange, so, and it doesn't really matter. And I just want this to be dirtied up, and I think this is going to give it a nice dirty look. So I'm going to give this a proper helping of this and see how it goes. This is going to go all over. Hopefully, when I start, when you see me again, this will all be assembled, and then I'll just do a little dry brushing and call it a day. You can see this grime coming up on there now. I give it a little bit more. Did I just make the drying time double as long? Who knows? Guess we'll find out. It's the thing with these washes. They do take quite a while to dry. Okay, well, we'll see how what it looks like in a few hours. Well, okay, so let's have a look at how this turned out. And you know what? I'm actually pretty happy with the final results here. I think this came out pretty good. As you can see, I dirtied it up a little bit more. I did a bit of dry brushing with some lead belcher and a little gunmetal. Just to scuff it up a little bit more, and yeah, fairly happy with the end result. This is, a pretty basic kit bash. Not, I didn't do all that much, but I'm pretty happy with this as a first attempt. And since I was done with this one, I started working on this Jeep. You can see I changed the color here. I repainted it with this sort of Jeep green. Put on this machine gun on the top. You got a new bumper. Put little panels, beat up panels there, and a bit on the back there as well. And I'm going to be painting the detailing on the top here. Grime it up like I did with this one. Put it on a base, and that'll be 2 cars done. So yeah, anyway, that was it for my sort of first Gaslands build. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some ideas, and let me know if you are getting into Gaslands, and if you're already into Gaslands. If you have any tips for getting started, please let me know. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.